Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Yesterday I couldn't help but notice this poem SikhNet published on their website, which I feel is my duty to warn Sikhs about and to demand that SikhNet remove this poem immediately. It's really in complete biadbi of the Siddhi Guru Granth Sahib, biadbi against Sikhi, and biadbi against the Sikh Gurus. SikhNet says in this poem, Sikhs do not know the difference between right and wrong, love and hate. And it talks about Yogi Bhajan bringing the light of Sikhi to the world. Now, as we all know, this is completely false and complete rubbish. Guru Nanak Dev Ji brought Sikhi to the world, not Yogi Bhajan, as SikhNet and the Yogi Bhajan followers would have you believe. You can read for yourself in this poem. I've put the link to it in the description to this video. This poem shows an unparalleled sense of self-entitlement and arrogance at SikhNet, and among most of the Yogi Bhajan followers, continually insult traditional Sikhs with their sacrilegious dribble, praising their cult leader Yogi Bhajan. SikhNet and the Yogi Bhajan followers continue to slap Sikhs in the face with their insults that Yogi Bhajan has the right way of Sikhi and that 3HL will save Sikhi from extinction. Now, I want to introduce people many of you may have read, but I want to introduce Sikhs to this book, Sikhism and Tantric Yoga, by Dr. Shalochan Singh, who really gave the true story behind Yogi Bhajan. And everybody should read it. It's available for free on my website. You can download it. And Dr. Shalochan Singh spent months with Yogi Bhajan. So he really knew the inside story about Yogi Bhajan and his corrupt tantric teachings. It's available on my website at gurmukhyoga.com. Now, SikhNet has continually been involved in the insult against Sikhs. You can see here how they posted, SikhNet posted this article that was bashing the UK Sikh leaders and Gurdwaras for banning gay marriages. SikhNet, sadly to say, is really against humanity. These Yogi Bhajan followers want to destroy humanity by promoting all of these things like gay marriage and this tantric yoga, which is completely against humanity and against Sikh teachings. Yogi Bhajan was accused of rape by his female secretaries, and you can see here this article from the Eugene Register Guard in 2010 that talks about this. Yogi Bhajan was involved in a plot to assassinate Sant Jarnail Singh Ji Bhindranwale. I interviewed an ex-brigadier general in the Indian Army who told us that Yogi Bhajan was involved in this. He tells about a meeting with Sant Jarnail Singh Ji that he had, where Sanchi told him that Yogi Bhajan and Indira Gandhi had met, and Yogi Bhajan had told Indira Gandhi that he had a sharpshooter that would take care of assassinating Sanchi. You can view this video. I'll put a link to it the description to this video. So Yogi Bhajan was a real plotter and schemer. And yet the Yogi Bhajan followers continue to worship Yogi Bhajan. You can see here at his death place where these SikhNet leaders, Guru Singh is there, this Ekon Karkar, and this Dhadam Singh, who's all part of these Yogi Bhajan leadership group, are all part of SikhNet in this leadership group. How they worship at Yogi Bhajan's death place and worship this idol of Baba Siri Chand too. Again, completely against Sikh teachings. Sikhs need to stand up and show that we are against this type of sacrilegious behavior. It's time the Yogi Bhajan people changed. They cannot be doing these type of things if they want to be called Sikhs. They need to get back to the Sikh Rehit Maryada. This is a Sikh code of conduct which the Yogi Bhajan followers violate every day. Yogi Bhajan never wore a kirpan. He was involved with astrology, numerology. He was doing these pujas, Hindu pujas, fire pujas. I could go on and on about all of the violations that Yogi Bhajan committed against the Sikh Rehit Maryada. Sikh Rehit Maryada says, a Sikh's worship should be rendered only to the one timeless being and to no god or goddess. This doesn't mean worshiping Yogi Bhajan. This doesn't mean worshiping idols of Baba Siri Chand. That poem is just a worship of Yogi Bhajan, the one that we want SikhNet to remove. For a Sikh, the Guru Granth Sahib Ji and the 10 Gurus' word alone should be a Sikh saviors and holy objects of veneration, not Yogi Bhajan. Yogi Bhajan people here prostrate and bow at his death place, bow at those idols of Baba Siri Chand. They do this sexual energizing tantric yoga. This is an advertisement from back in the 70s from Yogi Bhajan's own magazine, Beads of Truth, where you can see here the Yogi Bhajan people doing these sexual energizing tantric yogas. They worship him at his birthday party. Now they're going to have this 10-year anniversary of his death, where they're going to be worshiping these huge idols and statues of Yogi Bhajan. You can see them here. This was just a week or so ago at his birthday, Yogi Bhajan's birthday. Your Mustik of SikhNet even had his children up there dancing to this Bhangra. It's really a shameful display. This is that lawsuit that Yogi Bhajan's head secretary, Premka Khalsa, brought against Yogi Bhajan, accusing him of rape. It says here assault, sexually transmitted diseases, torture, imprisonment. It's just really awful. And yet the Yogi Bhajan people worship this man. And they say that he brought Sikhi to the West. It couldn't be farther from the truth. In fact, in the poem they're saying that he brought Sikhi to the world. This is art that Yogi Bhajan created. You can't really call it art. They're just phallus porno drawings. Yogi Bhajan gave me these drawings back in the 1980s. You can see here they're just disgusting. He's written power there. You can see where his mindset was at and what he was really intent on doing is promoting this tantric corrupting yoga that was really against humanity. The Yogi Bhajan people bring this Siddhi Guru Granth Sahib Ji under this ugly tantric painting of Yogi Bhajan. Display it there in the Gurdwara. The tantric painting of Yogi Bhajan just looms over the Gurdwara. All the proceedings in the Darbar of Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. This is a recent Homa fire puja that Gurmukh Kaur she hosted there in her yoga ashram there in Hollywood, completely against Sikh teachings. As Guru Singh, who's one of the directors over there at SikhNet, boasts about wearing these, as SikhNet shamefully calls them, these hot socks there in front of the Darbar of the Sri Guru Granth Sahib. Even when the Queen of England, Queen Elizabeth II, went to the Darbar of the Sri Guru Granth Sahib in Amritsar, she took off her socks. But Guru has some kind of self-entitlement and arrogance that he should be able to wear these socks and disrespect Sri Guru Granth Sahib. You can see here the article on SikhNet. Guru proceeded to tell the Granthis there in UK that he had the entitlement to tell young people that they could wear tight pants in the Gurdwara. When the Granthi had told this young lady to come back appropriately dressed, Guru Singh took it on himself to tell the young lady that she could come in with tight pants on. Where does Guru get this entitlement to tell Sikhs what to do? This is an article on 3HO's website about Guru keeping these fingernails of Yogi Bhajan's in his nitnail. Just completely against Sikh teachings. You can see here and read about it. Guru with Yogi Bhajan there in picture. That was in the UK. So the Yogi Bhajan people, they continually do these anti-Sikh practices and teachings. Now I want to read for you a post that was written by Vikram Singh, who used to be in the Yogi Bhajan group. And he talks about these racist attitudes of the Yogi Bhajan followers. He says here, as an American Sikh, 20 years as a Bhajanist and 24 as an ordinary Sikh, I have heard this kind of talk many times. When I was a Bhajanist, the level of understanding of Sikh history, Sikh Rehit Maryada, Punjabi culture, and history of our Guru Sahiban amongst my peers was abysmal, verging on non-existent. In addition, the level of arrogance that we had, the right way of Sikhi, or that we were ongoing to save Sikhi from extinction, was extremely high. Personally, I am deeply disturbed by what I see happening in the Bhajanist movement. In the field of teaching Kundalini Yoga, the movement seems to be expanding exponentially. There's nothing wrong with that per se, but the New Age people sorry, I can't think of a better term, to whom the Bhajanists are teaching this yoga are very open to and somewhat familiar with Hindu terminology and practices. Thus, the Kundalini Yoga they teach veers more and more towards Hindu practices. The Bhajanist movement is becoming more and more Hindu-like. Sadly, no one amongst them seems to care. Few Bhajanists have any idea of what sacrifices were made by those who went before to maintain the purity of Sikhi in the face of the relentless drive of certain factions amongst the Hindus to subsume Sikhi back into the relentless juggernaut of Hindu Vata. They don't care about the persecution, genocide, and economic warfare pursued by the Indian government against Sikhs in India. Instead, they have this arrogance that they have the true path of Sikhi and that the Punjabis will somehow have to follow along. This kind of talk makes me very sad, and I only see further misunderstanding and miscommunication in the future between Bhajanists and Punjabi origin Sikhs. This was Vikram Singh's post in the Gurmat Learning Zone. This is another post by Vikram Singh that is along those same lines. This is on the Gurmat Learning Zone. Vikram Singh says, after more than 40 years, the number of Bhajanists who left Bhajanism and remain Sikhs like myself can be counted on the fingers of two hands. For Bhajanists, Sikhi and Bhajanism are one and the same. When they are tired of Bhajanism, they leave Sikhi, except for a very small handful. What kind of miracle is that? I don't know how many Amritdhari Bhajanists you know, but I have known many. I'm sorry to tell you that overwhelmingly they do not differentiate between Bhajanism and Sikhi. For example, all the ones that I knew put Yogi Bhajan's morning practices before their Nitnam. They did Nitnam at all. Their knowledge of Sikh history, history of Guru Sahiban, Sikh Rehit Maryada, and Punjabi culture was verging on the non-existent. All this came second to Yogi Bhajan's yoga teachings. I'm not saying this is true for all, just for the overwhelming majority. You might say, well, you don't need to know these things to be a good Khalsa. That may be true, but if your Sikhi knowledge is only made up of and concerned with Yogi Bhajan's yoga teachings, what kind of Khalsa can you be? I think that really sums up the problem here that we're dealing with SikhNet and these Yogi Bhajan people. That they've been led astray by Yogi Bhajan. They continually worship Yogi Bhajan, and it's honestly just getting worse. I think that this is coming to a climax with this 10th anniversary of Yogi Bhajan's death that's coming up in October. You'll see more of this type of blatant worship of Yogi Bhajan on SikhNet's website. And it's really the duty of Sikhs around the world to communicate with these Yogi Bhajan followers and tell them that Yogi Bhajan was really a fraud, and that the Yogi Bhajan people need to read about correct Sikh code of conduct. And we can help them. We can help the Yogi Bhajan people see the right way and not get involved in these corrupt practices. Let's make this our duty and our goal to reach out to the Yogi Bhajan people and continually confront them when needed, to talk to them, and to make them aware of this. Make them aware of these false teachings of Yogi Bhajan. You can see here there was Hindu last rites ceremony done by Yogi Bhajan family there in Paramatma Kirtan Ashram. It's just an example of this anti-Sikh and un-Sikh-like practices Yogi Bhajan associated with this Jagjit Namdari. Namdaris believe that he was their guru. Thank you for your time. Hope you enjoyed this video. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.